Assalamualaikum, my name is Janabishan Health and I'm a foundation level student at High School Summit Bike Campus. So this is my mind. So let's start off to my mind. Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, how
I
are
am
you?
also fine, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. My first question for you that what is the wood?
That's a wide open question. Technically, it's the fibrous structural tissue found in the stems and roots of trees and other woody plants. But if we're talking more broadly, it's the stuff that builds our homes, fuels our fires, and makes a forest feel like a forest. Are you thinking about the science of it, or maybe something more philosophical?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that why is wood important to human?
It's kind of wild how much we rely on it, right? For a huge part of human history, wood was basically everything. It gave us the first tools, the first shelters, and most importantly, the first fires to keep us warm and cook food. Even now, it's not just about building houses, there's something about wood that feels warm and grounding compared to concrete or steel. Plus, we've got forests that literally help us breathe by cleaning the air. Do you think we've become too detached from nature now that we use so many synthetic materials?
Okay, my nice Well, it's what called the backbone of early.
I'm all ears.
Okay, my next answer. My next question for you that why? What are the main popular of wood?
Wrong. You got it. When you look at what people are eating across the globe, a few heavy hitters always stand out. Rice and wheat are the real foundations, whether it's a bowl of steamed rice in Asia or a fresh baguette in France. They're the fuel
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that what are the
for billions
please answer to
of people. And then you have the crowd pleasers like pasta you're looking for in life right now. Are you talking about how to be a better person, how to reach a goal, or maybe just how to handle the day-to-day stuff?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that why wood is
I'm not sure
a
I follow.
renewable resources. Please find me the answer.
Can definitely help that. Renewable resources are things that come from nature and re- a bank account where the money grows back on.
Okay, my nice
The
answer. Maya, Maya. Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that what is the difference between hardwood and softer wood? Softwood.
That's a classic point of confusion because it's actually not about how hard the wood feels. It's all about how the tree reproduces. Hardwoods come from angiosperms, which are flowering plants that produce seeds inside a fruit. Softwoods come from gymnosperms, mostly conifers like pines and firs, which have naked seeds, usually in cones. So you can actually have a softwood that's denser than some hardwoods. Does that make sense, or do you want me to dive into the specifics of how they grow?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that what type of food are there? Please, my give me long answer.
That is a massive question. If we're talking about the broad categories, you've got everything from savory mains and sweet desserts to the fermented stuff like kimchi or sourdough. But to give you a really good answer, I need to know what you're after. Are you looking for a list of global cuisines? Or maybe a breakdown of food groups like proteins and greens?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that why is what renewable process between hard sources wood? Please, my give me long answer.
I'll be honest, I'm having a little trouble following that one. Are you asking about something relating to the hardwood and softwood we're talking about, or is this a completely new topic?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that when did human first use wood?
Let me look into that. Turns out women have been working with wood for a really long time. Records go as far back as the 13th century in Spain, where women were working as day laborers, building structures from wood and stone. They've always been a huge part of the industry, especially in turning timber into finished goods like furniture and tool handles. There are even some incredible inventors like Tabitha Babbitt, who actually invented the industrial circular saw back in 1813. Do you think that's a surprising timeline, or did you expect it to be even older?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that when did women first use wood?
That's a tricky one because it's hard to pinpoint a specific first time. Since wood was one of the first materials humans ever used for warmth, shelter, and tools, women were likely using it from the very beginning of human history, long before we had written records to track it. It's more likely that using wood was just a natural part of survival for everyone in early human communities. Do you think they were using it more for building things or for making tools?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that how did wood help early casual service?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean by early Curso services. Could you tell me a bit more about that? I want to make sure I'm on the right track before I give you an answer.
Yes, Maya.
I'm still a little stuck on that early Curso service part. What does that mean to you? I'm all ears. I'm still waiting for a clue here. Maybe you could try explaining it in a different way?
Okay, my nice answer. My next question for you that what tool were made from wood?
Oh, so many things. Long before we had metal, wood was the go to for basically everything. You had things like bows and arrows for hunting, spears, and simple handles for stone tools. Then you have the everyday stuff bowls, spoons, combs, and even wheels for carts. It's wild to think that for most of human history, if you needed a tool, you probably looked to the nearest tree first. Do you think you'd be good at carving your own tools, or would that be too tedious? I love hearing that. What's making you feel so happy right now? You've got a lot on your mind today. Want to keep going with the questions or just hang out for a bit? I'm ready whenever you are. What's on your mind?
Okay, Maya. You nice answer. My next question for you that which country export the most food?
Let me check on that for you. I've always wondered if it's more about the amount or the value, but it turns out the US is the biggest exporter by value, bringing in around $172 billion in 2024. Brazil, the Netherlands, Germany, and China are also right up there. Does that surprise you, or did you have another country in mind? That's a big feeling.
Okay, Maya, you nice answer. My next question for you that what is the role of self meals?
I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure what you mean by self meals. Are you talking about the act of cooking for yourself or maybe something more philosophical? Help me out here.
Okay, my nice answer. My next question, but Maya, you very short answers, not long answer. How is wood transport? Please, Maya, give me long answer.
You've got it. I'll go deep on this one. But when we talk about how the word spreads, it really depends on whether we're talking about a specific message, a religion, or just a piece of gossip. In the broadest sense, it's all about human connection and the desire to share a truth or a story. Historically, it started with oral tradition. Before most people could read or write, information moved through storytelling, songs, and sermons. People would travel from village to village carrying news and beliefs in their heads, which is why stories often change slightly as they evolved to fit the people hearing them. Then came the printing press, which was a total game changer. Suddenly, a single idea could be duplicated thousands of times and sent across borders, making it impossible to keep information contained. Fast forward to today, and the speed is just mind blowing. We have the internet and social media where a thought can go global in seconds. But even with all this technology, the core process is the same. Something resonates with a person, they feel a strong emotional pull toward it, and they feel a need to pass it on to someone else. It's that chain reaction of human interests that keeps ideas moving. Does that feel like a more complete answer, or is there a specific kind of word you were thinking about?
Maya, you nice answer. My next question for you that how is the wood used in cherry culture today? Please, Maya, give me long answer.
Let me look that up. I've always found it fascinating how a single fruit can become the center of entire festivals and traditions across the globe. Cherries have this huge presence in European kitchens, from German puddings like Kirschenmichel to French cherry jam cakes and even Hungarian sour cherry soup. In the Middle East and Caucasus, they use the seeds to make a spice called mahleb for baking. And you'll find cherries used in savory ways too, like in Armenian kebab sauces. In the Americas, of course, you have the classic cherry pie, and Native Americans use black cherries and pemmican. That's wild how one little fruit can be used for everything from a fancy dessert to a hearty soup. Do you have a favorite way to eat cherries, or do you prefer them in something sweet?
My nice answer. My next question for you that what is injured wood? Please, Maya, give me long answer.
I'm not quite sure I follow. When you say the injured word, do you mean a word that's been misused or maybe a term for something that's hurtful? Let me know what you're thinking.
Okay, Maya, my last question for you that in one sense why is wood the backbone of early conversation? Please make it long so long.
That's a beautiful way to frame it. When we think about good being the backbone of early conversation, we're really talking about the foundation of trust. In the earliest human communities, survival didn't happen in isolation. It happened through cooperation. For two people to work together, to hunt, to build, or to protect each other, they had to believe that the other person had good intentions. Exactly. If the That's totally fair. You don't have
So viewers, so viewers, these are my Maya. I hope you like it, my Maya. I'll have this Pakistan Zindabad, Jahan schools Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.